You guys are always trying to tell people where not to buy, but never directly tell us what sites to directly buy from. And to that, I'd like to say, STFU, I'm tired of you all keeping it a secret like we... Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, it's been a long time, it feels like, since I have worn Lolita and made a video for you guys. That only feels that way for me, though. You guys have been seeing videos that I've had kind of on the back burner that needed to be uploaded for a couple of weeks now. But for me, I was actually pretty sick about a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't really feel like getting all dressed up to record any videos while I was feeling under the weather. But now I am back, I feel a whole lot better now, and I am ready to continue on with our series. As you can probably guess which video this is, based on, well, the title, of course, and the comment that I just read at the beginning of the video. We are finally going to be finishing off where to buy Lolita fashion from. In the previous two videos, we talked about where not to buy from, then we talked about where to buy new from, such as Taobao and Taobao resellers. And in this video, we are going to be focusing on purchasing secondhand Lolita from sites like Lace Market, Mercari, Rakuten, Rakuma, and Xianyu. I feel like this may be a bit of a lengthy video, so I'm going to try to hurry up and speed right on through it. But before I start, I just want to address what may or may not be the elephant in the room. Yes, this is the new dress. No, I did not film an unboxing for it. So as you can probably tell, this is Angelic Pretty's little witch. I'll just show it off here for you guys. So I actually purchased this dress not really on a whim. I had actually been looking at it for a couple of months, and I ended up purchasing it because, as you can see, it does not have the matching apron. I don't really care for aprons in Lolita. I respect all of you who can pull those off, but to me they seem a little bit too maid costumey. Like, at least that's what I feel like I would look like. But I had been looking at the dress for a while, and I decided to end up picking it up, and I don't regret it at all. It looks absolutely amazing. As for the reason why I didn't film an unboxing of it, it's because this is the only thing that I got from that purchase. Just the dress. As you can see, there's no apron, there's no head bow. I'm wearing my Milky Cross head bow, and I don't have the socks either. And I didn't think it would be very interesting to film an unboxing that was just the dress, like, hey look, it's the dress, and here it is. So I decided to just show it off to you right here in this video, since I didn't film an unboxing, and I do love this dress. It's like, it seemed like it was going to be like a whole lot more restricting and uncomfortable, but it is actually super duper comfortable. If you are interested in this dress, especially like the OP that you see here that I'm wearing, definitely go ahead and get it. It is awesome, and I'm certainly going to do a review of it in the future. But for now, let's get back to what we came on this video for, and that is to talk about purchasing Lolita secondhand. So if you are a newer Lolita, you may be wondering to yourself, why buy secondhand in the first place? And the reason for purchasing secondhand for most Lolitas is for a couple of reasons. The main reason is simply to buy brand pieces at a more reasonable price. You probably know by now that brand Lolitas such as Angelic Pretty, Baby Starshine Bright, Mama Moitié, those are going to be your more expensive dresses, and if you want to get your hands on those, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to do so. So in order to save people's bank accounts and not break them so terribly, most people venture into the secondhand market to try to purchase dresses at a bit more of a reasonable price. Of course, these are going to be used dresses, so they are not going to always be pristine top condition, but they are usually, you know, wearable at least, and because of that, you can usually pick up a dream dress that you've probably been looking for a long time. On that note, I do want to say that purchasing from the secondhand market is pretty much just a game of chance. You pretty much just have to hope that someone is out there selling a dress that you are interested in, and if someone does not have it on the market, then you're unfortunately not going to be able to get it, or you're just going to have to keep waiting. But that is part of the game of Lolita. If you are looking for brand and expensive pieces, you are typically going to have to end up waiting a long time to find them, or you get lucky into finding it pretty much immediately as soon as the dress catches your interest. So to go right away into the major sites, if you live in the West, United States, Europe, or honestly anywhere, I don't think there's any place that this site is banned in. I think it's available everywhere, but you're most probably going to be using these sites if you live in the West. This is going to be Lace Market. Lace Market is a site where you can sell your used Lolita pieces, pretty much any pieces, not just a main piece like a dress. You can sell accessories on there, socks, shoes, jewelry, anything that is Lolita related can go on that site. It is Lolita specific. There are sometimes things that are just kind of like cutesy things that can be worn with Lolita that kind of slip through the cracks. They're not really Lolita items. But if it goes with Lolita and most people wear it with Lolita, such as a brand like Liz Lisa, it's possible that you can find it on there, and since that's generally worn in Lolita anyway, it's pretty much fine. So Lace Market is a pretty good site to purchase from. All you have to do is make an account. You have to make sure that the account is registered. After that is the case, you have to link a PayPal, of course, to it, and then you are free to use the site. You just browse around for whatever you're looking for. Say it's a dress in particular, you just search up the name, and if someone is selling it, you can check and see if that price is one that intrigues you and one that you're willing to pay, and then you can purchase it. When you purchase an item, you don't pay for it immediately. The seller will send you an invoice and then you will pay for it afterwards. So if you contact the seller beforehand and ask if they are able to do a payment plan, that is when they will send you the invoice in the amount that you've agreed to pay. And I guess they will probably forward you a new invoice every couple of weeks or however you set it up. Personally, I've only used Lace Market a couple of times, but I've never purchased a main piece from Lace Market. I have only purchased items like socks and blouses, and everything that I purchased was either brand new and still with tags, or it was a item that was like tried on and then immediately taken off. So overall, most of the items that I've purchased from there have been in pretty good quality. However, I have heard stories about pretty unfortunate circumstances with purchasing from Lace Market, and I want to talk about that briefly if you've never used the site. Personally, I think, especially if you are a newer Lolita, you have to set yourself up to expect certain type of standards for yourself when purchasing secondhand. For me personally, when I buy things secondhand, I like things to be as new as possible, and I think that most people, when you buy secondhand, should kind of think a little bit similarly. I understand that, you know, with the nature of secondhand, things aren't going to always be perfect brand new items unless they are costing like pretty much the price that it would have costed if it was new. But I definitely think that people like maybe kind of get roped into believing that this is just what Lolita is, and if something has like 2 or 3 or 4 like very, very blatant stains, that's just acceptable. And for some people it may be, like maybe they are absolutely fine with washing, you know, the dress after they get it. But for me, like I said, I like things to be as new as possible. If I'm purchasing from a secondhand seller, I would like for the item to be washed. If you see a listing where someone says it has a couple of stains, but I'm sure they'll come out if you wash it, that is pretty much a dead giveaway that the seller is saying, I'm not going to be washing this, so you're just gonna have to purchase it as is. For me, that's just a no-go. I would like, if I'm buying something that's been used, that it's at least been washed. I'm pretty sure if I was selling to someone else, I would certainly wash my items before I send them. And I feel like that should be upheld by most people. I understand, again, that that's not how everyone rolls, but for me personally, I feel like you should at least, if you're going to be spending upwards of $200, $300 for certain dresses, that you should at least expect them to be clean. Like, I feel like that's not too much to ask. I feel like a clean dress is not too much to ask for. So for me, I only purchase dresses that are minimally used. If they have been used more often, definitely that the seller has washed them. I also prefer that the seller does not have any pet. If the seller has owned pets, I typically don't want to buy from those type of sellers because I don't want pet hair on the dresses that I purchase. But I have purchased one, I believe my Daydream Carnival, I believe she had a cat, but she did say that she washed it before sending it, so that was fine with me. Again, as long as the dress has been washed and it's clean, I think that that's perfectly fine. Again, I just think that if you're purchasing something for hundreds of dollars, that it should at least be clean. So I understand that for some people you may not mind a stain or two if you believe that it's going to come out, like makeup stain. If you think that you can get it out and you're fine with purchasing, that's perfectly fine. Just keep in mind that, you know, Lolita does not have to be this thing where you feel like, oh, we just paying $500 for a stained dress is normal. It's really not. You can really get like really nice dresses that have not been overly used for good prices. Everything that I have paid for and purchased secondhand has, other than this, come in a full set with either, at the minimum, the head bow, and if more than the head bow, it's come with socks, and one of them has come with wrist cuffs, all of that together. So, and all of them were under $200, every single one of them. Even this one was under $200. It was missing a few things, so of course it was, but you know, you don't have to spend $300, $400, $500 to get a full set, or to get a full set that's clean. You know, you can find those on the secondhand market. It's not like something that's rare, unless you don't know where to search. Now, the other critique that I have about Lace Market is that there are a lot of scalpers on it, unfortunately. Now, by scalpers, I'm not just talking about people who buy like the latest angelic pretty dress and then try to sell it for like double the amount. That does happen, but from my experience, it doesn't seem like it happens too often because I think most people know not to buy from those people, and so they don't charge that much. But I think another problem is that a lot of sellers tend to really overvalue their merchandise. Now, I want to say up front that it is absolutely up to the seller to determine how much they want to sell their pieces for. However, I think that it is also up to you as the seller to say, I am not paying $600 for Sugary Carnival. I know that we are still technically in a sweet boom, but it's 2022, almost 2023 at this point. The sweet boom is no longer like sky high that it was last year or in 2020, 2019. Like the sweet boom is not that high anymore. You're not really getting $500, $600 for Sugary Carnival anymore, especially since it had an MTO. Like, you're not getting that much money. I recently saw Sugary Carnival go as low as like $200, $300, even less than that on Lace Market and on Mercari. But it seems like it's happening a little bit slower on Lace Market for whatever reason. I think people are still trying to hold on to this sweet boom and try to get like $500, $600 for certain dresses, and it's just not going to happen. Like, most people are not going to be paying that anymore because the prices have gone down, and it seems as though a lot of sellers just have not realized this yet. Now, again, you are perfectly free to ask for however much you want for your own dress. That is up to you to decide. But again, it is also up to buyers to decide that this price is not really worth it anymore. I'm going to kind of wait around until someone posts it for a little bit cheaper. Which is why I like purchasing from sites like Mercari, because it seems like, at least in my experiences so far from purchasing from Mercari Japan, it seems as though they have gotten the memo that, you know, we are not really paying that much money for certain pieces anymore. Obviously, some pieces are always going to be really expensive, like honey cake seems to always be like super duper expensive, but, you know, even that has gone down, like, I would say pretty considerably than it was selling for, like, even at the beginning of this year. Another thing that bothers me about Lace Market is people who will sell items from Taobao for much more than they should be selling them for. I understand if maybe they are basing these prices off of the reseller prices, such as like Glitzy Wonderland, as they tend to charge a whole lot of money for these items as well. But I mean, $20 to $25 for a pair of Roji socks is a little bit much and something that I would not personally pay. Roji socks cost about $4 on Taobao, so you could probably get yourself a bundle of those for relatively inexpensive amount of money rather than like one pair for $25 just for it to get to you a little bit quicker if you're buying it from the US or the UK if that's where you live. Another thing that I've seen is this appear on the market. Now, I just screenshotted this as soon as I saw it because I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to be showing any names here because I'm not trying to like shade anyone here. Again, it's your discretion to choose the price. But these bad boys cost $1 on Taobao. Like, you could get yourself 4 or 5 of these things for the price that this one was going for, which was $10. And then I believe it was $5 for shipping, if I'm correct. So $15 for this little star hair accessory that you can get like 5 or 6 of for maybe the same price or maybe a little bit more on Taobao, just buying it brand new. Like, you're buying it used for $10 when it costs $1. These are things that I don't understand. I don't know if the logic is, oh, well, I'm in the States, you're in the States, or I'm in the UK, you're in the UK, Europe, wherever we are. So it'll get to you much quicker than if you order it from China. But I mean, at that point, I would honestly just rather order it from China. I'm personally not in a rush to get this little star dangly. I'm not in a super duper big rush for that. I can wait. Or I can order it from AliExpress and it might get here a little bit quicker. Probably not, but you know, either way, like I'm not really open to paying like a super duper high price for something that is just frankly not worth it. So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind when you're purchasing from Lace Market. If there are Taobao resellers on there, please make sure that you are not overpaying. I mentioned before, but there is a seller on there named Molly's, and she is pretty much just a Taobao reseller, just selling items from Taobao and reselling them from, I believe, Sweden. I believe I corrected myself and it is Sweden. I could be wrong. I could be incorrect like for the second time in a row. She tends to sell certain blouses or socks that are on Taobao and sells them for pretty much the same price and with just, I think they probably make the money from the shipping, but it doesn't seem like it's like an exaggerated price. So I would definitely recommend that if you want to buy like some Taobao Roji socks or something like that, that you get them from Molly's instead of like someone who was asking for $25 for a pair of Roji socks that they may have honestly worn. They may have honestly worn the socks and they're still making you pay $20 for something that is worth $4. So this is the end of my like kind of like Lace Market spiel rant. I do think that Lace Market is a very good site. I've purchased from them. Everything that I've gotten from them has been fine. They were either brand new or tried on and everything has been fine. I've never had any problems. I've never had any problems with payments or anything like that. Everyone who I've purchased from has been great. So you're probably going to be like perfectly fine shopping from them, but I just do want to just keep it in mind that, you know, have standards for yourself. Don't buy dirty, unwashed dresses for $500, $600, especially if the stains like end up not being able to be coming out. You should be buying things as new as possible and make sure that you just budget yourself accordingly. Ask things in advance. If someone has payment plans available, do ask that in advance. Don't wait until you buy it and then ask them that. And other than that, that's really all I have to say about Lace Market specifically. Now I want to talk a little bit about Japanese sites that you can purchase Lolita from. These include Mercari, Mercari Japan, I should be specific because I believe there is a Mercari US that I never knew that existed. I only knew about Mercari Japan, but there's Mercari Japan, there's Rakuma, there's Rakuten, there is Yahoo Auctions, Yahoo Shopping. All of these sites you can purchase Lolita from as well. Now, all of the Lolita that I purchased secondhand as far as brand is concerned has come from Mercari. However, I do want to let you guys know that most people cross-post between Mercari and Rakuten. So if you see something on one of those sites and it looks exactly the same, it's 9 times out of 10 not like a stolen image or anything. It's usually just the exact same seller just posting it on both sites. So just keep that in mind. I've seen that happen before with certain things that I was purchasing. But usually when I purchase from Mercari, and I think that a lot of Lolitas kind of don't really take advantage of the fact that there are really, really good deals on Mercari. I'm not even sure why, because I feel like the only reason you would think to not look on there is because your thought process is maybe it'll take a little bit longer for it to get to me since it's coming from Japan. But I mean, I have never gotten anything quicker than from Mercari. As a matter of fact, the little witch that I purchased that I'm wearing right now, I purchased it 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday, and it arrived to me last week on Monday. So it was not even 7 days that I paid for this piece that it arrived to me. That is the fastest that I have ever ordered any item, secondhand or new, and that I have received it. So that was absolutely insane. It was like super fast. Like the seller, like they confirmed my order. The seller shipped it out on the same day, and the very next day it was at the warehouse, and then the next day again they shipped it out, and then Monday it was at my house. So I don't know why it was so fast, but I'm not complaining. So when I buy from Mercari, I use a shopping service known as Buyee. It is fairly straightforward. You just sign up, register your, of course, payment method of choice. You can purchase your item. They will take the payment. They don't take the payment immediately. They take the payment when the order has been confirmed, because I guess there's a possibility that someone could order it at the same time as you or before you. So they don't take your money immediately. They take it as soon as it has been received and confirmed. So after that, you have paid, and then the seller will take a couple of days to ship the item out to the Buyee warehouse. And then afterwards, the Buyee warehouse will send you an email and ask you how you want it to be shipped over to your address, and they will ship it on over. And it usually takes about a week, maybe a week and a half for it to get to me in my experience. Usually they ship out with DHL, and usually that arrives within a week. But I also received Asian Carnival, I believe, with Japan Post, and that took a little bit longer. There was a little bit of a delay with that one for whatever reason, but it didn't take too long. And then when I ordered this, it came with UPS, so that one was super duper fast. I wouldn't mind using UPS again in the future if they have that option for me. But yeah, that's how I purchased from Mercari. You can use Buyee to purchase from all of those sites that I mentioned: Rakuten, Rakuma, Yahoo Shopping. All of those sites, you can use Buyee as your shopping service. It's not the only shopping service to purchase from those sites, but it is the only one that I personally use, so I'm just going to recommend it because I've had no issues with them whatsoever. However, there are other shopping services, and there is a little YouTuber named Mary Moons who made a video talking about other means of purchasing Lolita from Japan. So I will probably link her video in the description somewhere so you can check hers out, since my video is not really going into that much detail as to using a shopping service specifically, but more so purchasing the Lolita from those stores, those online websites. But the reason I prefer Mercari and Rakuten is because the deals seem to be so much better. Like I said, in my experience, I have only purchased my 4 brand dresses from those sites, and of them, all of them had been only tried on or worn like once or twice and then stored away, so the condition was perfectly fine. There was no staining on any of them, no tears, nothing like physically wrong with the dress. And they have almost always come in like a full set of sorts. My Milky Cross came with the dress and the head bow. My Candy Sprinkle came with the dress, the head bow, and the socks. It wasn't the matching socks, but it was a pair of socks. Same for Asian Carnival, it came with a pair of socks, but not the matching socks. But the condition and everything was fine. I got the salopette, the head bow, the socks, and some wrist cuffs. And for this is the only item that I purchased that was just the dress, and it doesn't have the matching apron either. So this was the only item that didn't come with a set or anything, but overall, all of those purchases that I made were under $200, and they arrived fairly quickly with no issues. Again, there was no like issues with the quality of the dress itself. They were all great, and they were just very good deals. And I feel like if you were to look on Lace Market, like right now for some of these pieces, like you would probably be paying $300 or $400 for just the dress. Like oftentimes they don't even have the head bow or the socks or anything like that, whereas I tend to see like the matching accessories a whole lot more on the Japanese sites. And I don't know if that's maybe because Japanese Lolitas tend to buy the accessories more often than Western Lolitas, so we don't often have the accessories to sell. But I would really recommend that if you're interested in getting a full set, to try to buy from the Japanese sites, because at least in my experience, they typically cost less and they have more pieces. So you're getting more bang for your buck, and that is always what I think you should aim for in such an expensive fashion as Lolita, to try to get the bang for your buck that you can. There's 2 more Japanese sites that I want to mention, and that is Closet Child and Wonderwelt. Now, I'm going to be upfront and say that I've never used any of these sites personally, but they are 2 sites that you can use, and you can purchase from them directly. You do not need a shopping service to use either of them, from my understanding. And I've never heard of anyone having a bad experience using the site itself. Maybe they've had a bad purchase, but I've never heard any issues with those 2 sites. So if you are curious in other methods of purchasing Lolita, there are those 2 options available to you as well. I don't often see sets sold on there. I usually see like individual pieces, like a dress, and maybe if they have the head bow, it will be like a separate listing. I don't know if it'll be like the same seller or what, because I believe Closet Child at least is like a store that you go to in Japan and you leave your items and people can come purchase secondhand from them. At least that's what it sounds like to me based on descriptions, so please forgive me if I'm incorrect on that. But based on that, it seems like maybe like the way the people at Closet Child listed is individually, like, okay, this is a dress and this is the head bow. But I've never really seen like a set sold on either of those two sites. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places, but if you're interested in sets, I would still recommend like the sites that you use Baiyi to purchase from, like Mercari and Rakuten. The last site that I want to mention is Xianyu. This is a Chinese secondhand site and it is only available as an app. I believe it used to be available on the web, but as of right now recording this video, it is only available as an app. Now, I'm aware that you can use your Taobao login to log into Xianyu, but I have never been able to get it to work. I don't know what I'm doing incorrectly. The entire site, of course, is in Chinese, and with it being an app, there's no way to translate it, at least as of the time that I'm recording this video. Maybe they'll add something like that later, but as of right now, I have no idea how to log into Xianyu. I have the app on my phone, and I can't log in or anything like that. So if you speak Chinese, maybe help a sister out in the comments below and tell me how to make an account on Xianyu. While I have never directly purchased from Xianyu, I'm pretty sure the secondhand items that I've received that are Taobao dresses were purchased from Xianyu. So my 2 unicorn macaron dessert station dresses and my Rainbow Dollhouse, which I also didn't unbox, so sorry if you didn't know that I have Rainbow Dollhouse, but I bought Rainbow Dollhouse secondhand, and I had someone purchase it for me, and it was secondhand, and my assumption is that it came from Xianyu. Oh, and my Dark Knight Cross, that was also purchased secondhand, and I'm assuming it was from Xianyu. I don't know, but I'm assuming it was from Xianyu. So I've never purchased from those sites directly, but again, I've never heard of people having direct issues with Xianyu. Certainly the people who are buying them on my behalf don't seem to be having any issues since they're getting the dresses just fine. Once again, as I am purchasing these items secondhand, I'm trying to get them as best quality as possible. So for those dresses, my 2 unicorn macaron dessert station dresses, I believe they had only been tried on. For the Rainbow Dollhouse, I don't think they said like how often it had been used. It just said that it was in good condition, and it was in good condition. There was a minor like spot on the inbuilt petticoat, but you'll never see it, so that doesn't really matter. And for the Dark Knight Cross, it was perfect condition. I don't know how often it had been used, but it was pretty good condition, no problems with it. So yeah, that is basically my experience with Xianyu. I've never purchased them directly, but if you want to look for an option in buying Lolita and you live in China, or you would like some options that are nearby if you live in Asia, then Xianyu is an option for you. And other than that, I think that is pretty much the end of this video. I don't have any much more to add other than that. Just basically remember when purchasing secondhand that you're not always going to find everything you want immediately. It's very much a waiting game, but the more options that you have for you, the more you are going to be able to find your dream dresses. So hopefully if there was a site that you were not using before, maybe you will check it out and maybe find a potential dream dress on one of these new sites. But other than that, I think that is the end. I am sorry that it took so long to get this video out. I purchased a couple of things from Mercari that I wanted to wait on so I could have more experience from them if I was going to have any issues. Especially since the shipping methods were different each time, I wanted to make sure that I could talk about each one of them. But other than that, that is it for me for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I apologize that my attire for today was not seasonally appropriate as it is not Halloween yet, but hopefully I will get around to doing a dress review of this around Halloween. I also plan on doing a like bulk accessory haul in like September, like next month. I'm planning on buying a whole bunch of stuff to kind of like coordinate accessorize with this, so hopefully I will be able to do that soon. Before I go, I just wanted to show off the full dress in case you guys were interested, since I am sitting here wearing it and I didn't do like an official video showing off this dress. Here it is. It's very nice. I'm 5 feet tall, so I am pretty short, and the length is pretty good on me. As you can see, the sleeves are a bit long, but that's pretty much everything that I wear. But I overall like it. It does not have any waist ties or anything like that, but it does have a very nice thin waist measurement, so it does fit me pretty nicely. So sorry to have that random little review in here, but since I didn't do an official unboxing of this dress, I thought I would mention it right here. Yeah, very nice. This is Angelic Pretty Little Witch. If you are interested in this, Halloween is right around the corner, so maybe be on the lookout for it. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this information is helpful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will be happy to assist you. Bye guys!